Welcome back. We hope you found the first session and breakout rooms useful. We will now move on to the second session in our fellowship series. In this session, we are going to look at your training plan. This will vary depending on award. I will try and give you examples across all fellowship types, but please feel free to ask more specific questions in the breakout groups. As we have already said, fellowships are different from research grants as they are training awards. Your training and development plan is as important as your project, and you will be questioned on your choice of courses and how this will help develop you into that leading researcher. Training may include, but is not limited to, formal courses, training in specialist skills and research methodologies, placements with other research groups or centres, leadership skills, conference attendance, and overseas research visits. It is important that the training and development programme is tailored to your specific needs and complements the research being proposed as part of the fellowship. For clinical applicants, including social care practitioners, within the training plan section, also indicate if you will be using the award to undertake clinical sessions. So what are your training needs and how can they be met across the whole lifespan of the fellowship? These are a few questions to ask yourself. Looking at your proposed project within your fellowship, what skills do you need to develop to be able to carry out this work? Is there a specific skill or method you need within your research project? Do you need management and leadership training so that you can inspire others? How are you addressing research capacity development? How are you developing yourself as a future researcher? These questions may also come up at interview, so worth addressing within your training plan. The training plan must be appropriate for your level of fellowship, add value and be relevant. Always choose the best course in your chosen area rather than the most convenient. The pre-doctoral award is centred on training, and you need to be clear why the course you have chosen will enable the step change to be able to apply for a doctoral award in the future. If you have chosen to do a research master's course, I would highlight the modules that are key to enable you to carry out your future PhD project. At doctoral and advanced level, all of your chosen courses must add value to your fellowship and to you. Don't choose to do a very specific quantitative methodology course if you will not be using that in your project. You could add a course towards the end of your fellowship that you will need at the next level of your research career, but you need to have a clear justification of why this course is needed at this stage. For example, a course in understanding health economics could help you plan what measures you need to include in a future trial. At advanced level, your choice of mentors is very important. What value do they add to you and your project? Think about increasing your network and creating links with people in your field. Consider having mentors that will support you with your methodology, health or disease area, and at policy level if possible. These are the research and development frameworks I mentioned in our first session. I find them really useful tools for a self-evaluation of skills. We tend to see them used from doctoral level upwards, but I do think they are really useful tools even for the early career researcher to help identify what areas you need to develop. We have seen successful fellowship applications using these frameworks to justify why a course or skill is needed. The training plan was written to highlight that using a research and development framework, X skill was identified as an area for development, in, for example, domain C2 research management, and Y course would address this gap in knowledge. It shows the panel that you've really thought what skills you need to develop and which courses will help you achieve this. It is expected that the training will equip you with a detailed understanding of the principles that underpin research, so research governance, research design, research methods, data analysis and interpretation, presentation of your research findings. Even at pre-doctoral level, these 5 key points should be within your master's module or planned visits. You will also need to include a Gantt chart in your application to show how your courses fit into the life of your fellowship. Always search for the most appropriate courses and don't feel obliged to choose courses at your host institution. At doctoral level, there will be an element of in-house doctoral training required, but for more specific methodology or leadership skills, these might be found better elsewhere. So where is the best place to do your course? Ask around. You could ask your mentors and supervisors, the RDS, previous fellows, and search online. For example, the National Centre for Research Methods offer a range of courses linked to the Economic and Social Research Council Doctoral College, which are accessible to all. There are other providers, so check around for the most suitable course for your development needs. This might be obvious, but always plan to do the courses before you need them within your fellowship projects. The panel will also expect to see this reflected in your Gantt chart. Within the doctoral and advanced fellowships, you can include a visit overseas, but these need to be clearly justified as to how it will enhance your development and build your skills needed to deliver the research. Overseas research visits are normally restricted to 1 visit per fellowship and a maximum duration of 3 months. There is a variety of ways to set out your training plan, sequentially across 3 years, by work package or work stream, as internal and external courses, or following one of the research and development frameworks. At the start of this section, you can include a summary paragraph to say how you have identified the following gaps in your research skills using one of the research development frameworks, and then set out how X course will develop the skills needed within a specific domain. Your training plan needs to be reflected in your Gantt chart. If you are successful at getting to stage 2 interview, we would expect to see a slide on the training plan within your presentation. A panel member is specifically assigned to question you for 5 minutes on your skills, your development and your training plan, so you need to be able to justify why you have chosen those specific courses, how they will develop your skills, and why they are necessary in order to carry out the fellowship project. These are examples of questions we have observed at the fellowship interviews. What will you learn from X, Y or Z course? You have some experience of X in your Masters, so why have you put that again in your training plan? What are your main training needs? Your health economics training looks like it gives an understanding of what health economics is, but not practical skills. How will you obtain these skills? Where are you going to get support around qualitative work? Your supervision team have good quantitative skills. Sometimes it can feel like a minefield knowing which courses to do and how to structure your training plan. Do come and talk to us at the RDS, as we're very happy to work with you on your training plan section. It can be useful to talk to people outside of your supervisory team or your research group about what your training needs are within the fellowship application, and we are always happy to help. We are now going to move to the breakout rooms, where our RDS advisors will be able to answer any questions on your training plan within the specific fellowship you are considering applying for.